The night has a different quality. The familiar sounds of the day give way to a deep silence, broken only by noises we can't quite identify. For most of us, it's a time to rest, to recharge, to dream. But for some, it's when the real work begins. They are the watchers in the dark, the lonely souls who witness what the darkness hides. They are the keepers of the graveyard shift, and these are their stories. I work as the night security guard for the Ethel Stand building, a massive corporate high-rise that empties out completely after 6 p.m. My kingdom is a small, quiet room filled with a bank of security cameras. Dozens of screens showing empty hallways, workstations shrouded in shadow, and stationary elevators. The monotony is absolute. At least, it used to be, until I started seeing him. It's always on the camera for the 12th floor, Sector C. A man in a gray suit would appear, standing at the far end of the hallway. He never moved. He just stared, right into the lens. The first night I saw him, I figured it was just an employee working late. I picked up the intercom for that floor and called out. No answer. When I looked back at the monitor, he was gone. The next night, he was there again. Same spot, same unnerving stare. This time, I didn't hesitate. I rushed to the elevator and went straight up to the 12th floor. The hallway was empty, brightly lit, and utterly silent. There was nothing. I went back down to the security room, my heart pounding a little faster. And on the camera, he was still there, not staring, watching me. That's when I finally noticed it. Something that made my blood run cold. On the bezel of the monitor for the 12th C camera, there was a small, faded sticker. It read, "Deactivated." I wasn't looking at a live feed. It was a recording, or it was something much, much worse. Obsession took over. Every night, I watched him, and every night, he seemed a little closer. Suddenly, he wasn't at the end of the hall anymore. He was in the middle, then just a few doors down from the camera. His features became sharper each time. He always looked so sad. Last night was the worst. When my shift started, I looked at the monitor, and the screen was just dark. It took me a second to understand what I was seeing. The camera had been pointed at the wall. Someone or something had turned it downward, and then, in the dark reflection of the powered-off monitor right next to it, I saw him, a figure, standing right behind my chair. I don't dare turn around, and I don't dare turn off the screen. My name is Laura, and I'm a delivery driver. I mostly work the night shift. It pays better, and the roads are clear. Saturday nights are always the busiest. That's when I got a strange order through the app, 1 cola. The address was 712 Cedar Street. Cash on delivery. It was weird, but not unheard of. The problem started when I plugged the address into my GPS. Location not found. I tried every map app on my phone, nothing. Cedar Street didn't exist in any city database. Still, an order's an order. I decided to just head in the general direction, relying on my old knowledge of the neighborhoods. After almost an hour of searching, I saw it. A rusted, ivy-covered street sign, barely visible, Cedar St. Number 712 was the last house on the street, an old, dilapidated wooden structure. The front yard was completely overgrown with weeds, looking like it hadn't been touched in 100 years. I took a deep breath and knocked. The door creaked and slowly swung open on its own. An elderly woman in an old-fashioned, antiquated dress stared back at me. Her eyes were clouded over, pale and lifeless. "You're late," she whispered, her voice sounding like it came from a great distance. "We've been waiting. He is so thirsty." I awkwardly handed her the soda. Her hand was ice cold. She gave me a crumpled, old banknote. When my fingers brushed hers, a chill shot right down my spine. I looked down at the bill. It was from a series that hadn't been in circulation for decades. Before I could even say anything, the woman's eyes widened in pure fear. She was looking at something behind me. "He's seen you," she gasped. "It's too late now. He'll want your delivery, too." She slammed the door shut in my face. I didn't wait around. I ran back to my bike, my heart hammering against my ribs. As I fumbled with the keys and turned on my headlight, it's being caught something. A single word, written in the thick dust on my gas tank. Run. Ever since that night, I see it on my late night deliveries. There's always an old car in the distance, its headlights off. It never gets closer. It just follows, waiting. Because, according to the app that never showed that order again, my next delivery is still pending. The Linhart Steel factory shut down back in the 80s, but its massive boilers still need maintenance. If they're left alone for too long, the pressure builds, and the risk of a catastrophic explosion becomes very real. That's my job. I'm the night shift boiler operator. I spend my nights alone in a basement control room, monitoring pressure gauges, surrounded by the constant, muffled roar of the furnace. The rest of the industrial complex stretches out above and around me like a ghost city of iron and steel. For the first few months, it was quiet, peaceful, even. Just me and the hum of the machines. But then, I started to hear things. And it wasn't rats. It was voices. The sound of a child's laughter echoing through the ventilation shafts. The sharp, sudden burst of a jackhammer from the floor directly above. A floor I knew was completely empty. One night, it was unmistakable. I heard a march, like hundreds of people walking in perfect unison, their footsteps passing right outside my door. I grabbed a heavy flashlight and went to investigate. The long, dusty corridor was empty, but on the floor, in the thick layer of dust, there were footprints, hundreds of them, all going in the same direction in a perfectly orderly, single file, like a human assembly line. They led me to the massive main hall, where the old, giant machines stand dormant under heavy tarps. Inside, the air was freezing cold, and then the voices started again. Whispers, animated conversations, the sharp whistle of a foreman calling out orders. For a terrifying moment, I swear I saw the tarps on the machine shift, as if they were operating on their own. The shadows on the wall weren't static. They were moving, working on a shift that never ended. Now, I don't fight it anymore. I've accepted it. Every night, when the clock strikes midnight, I leave my control room and I join the ghostly march. I take my place in the line, and my shadow on the wall joins theirs. We work, we march, because I've learned it as far better to be a part of the nightmare than to become its next victim. The night shift at Linhart, it never really ends. The night can hide secrets the light of day never reveals. Whether on a static monitor, a lost road, or in the silent depths of an abandoned factory, the graveyard shift is a frontier, a thin veil between our world and something else. What waits for you in the dark? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from the shadows.